Hi students! How are you? I hope you're doing great. Welcome to our first video about the routines. Do you remember the series of videos about routines? We learned 10 new verbs. Do you remember what those verbs are? Let's see. We learned watch, ride, play, eat, take a shower, get dressed, do homework, brush your teeth, listen, and go. And using those 10 verbs, we learned how to create sentences in the past, the present, and the future. And we also learned how to create negative sentences, okay? So let's start with the present. Remember, when we use simple present, we want to talk about routine, something we always do, something we often do, or something we do every day. So let's use the word watch. Every day I watch TV in the living room, okay? Every day I watch TV in the living room, using the pronoun I. But remember, if you change that I to he or she, it's gonna change the verb a little bit, because in the present, the third person changes. Do you remember how the verb changes? You're going to add an ES or an S to the end of the verb. For example, she watches TV in the living room, okay? Let's do it with one more verb. How about play? I play outside, okay? She plays outside, okay? So in the present, you have to change the verb depending on which pronoun you're going to use. I play, she plays. I watch, she watches. Okay? And if you want to create a negative sentence, do you remember what words you have to use? Don't and doesn't. So let's choose another verb. How about eat? I always eat lunch. Okay? So how would we make that sentence negative? I don't always eat lunch. Okay? And if we change the pronoun from I to he or she, it's going to change to doesn't. She doesn't always eat lunch. Okay? So that was the present. Remember, the most important things about the present are, depending on the pronoun you use, the verb changes a bit. Okay? So if it's in third person, you're going to add an S or an ES to the verb. And the negatives are don't and doesn't. Now let's talk about, or let's review the past. Okay? Remember, the past has regular and irregular verbs. Regular verbs. Do you remember what you do to regular verbs? You add an ED. And the irregular verbs, you just have to memorize. Okay? So let's go through each of the verbs really fast and see if they're regular or irregular. Okay? The first verb is watch. Watch is a regular verb, so it changes to watched. Ride is an irregular verb. It changes to rode. Play is a regular verb. It changes to played. Take a shower is an irregular verb. Take changes to took. Get dressed is also an irregular verb. Get changes to got. Do homework is an irregular verb. Do changes to did. Brush is a regular verb. So brush changes to brushed. Listen is also a regular verb, and listen changes to listened. And go is a super irregular verb. Go changes to went. Okay? So, yesterday I got dressed and I brushed my teeth before I ate breakfast. Okay? And what if we want to make a negative sentence in the past? Do you remember what word we use? The word is didn't. Yesterday, I didn't brush my teeth before I ate breakfast. Okay? And let's go over to the future. Who remembers that one small word that we need to use in the future? It starts with a W. It is will. So we just have to put the word will before the verb to create a sentence in the future. Tomorrow I will do my homework. Tomorrow I will listen to music. Tomorrow I will go to the grocery store. Easy, right? And what if we want to make a negative sentence in the future? Do you remember what the word is? Won't. Tomorrow I won't go to the grocery store. Tomorrow I won't go to my grandma and grandpa's house. Okay? So that was an intense review of this series about routines. There was a lot of information there, but don't worry, I'll practice with you in class, okay? And in the next video, I will make a bunch of short stories using sentences in the past, the present, and the future. I'll make some stories about the past, and some stories about routine, and some stories about the future, okay? Oops, I almost forgot your project, okay? For your project, I want you to make one sentence in the present using the pronoun I. I want you to make one sentence in the present using the pronoun he or she. And I want you to make one negative sentence in the present with I, and one negative sentence in the present using he or she. And then in the past, I would like you to write one positive sentence with a regular verb, one positive sentence with an irregular verb, and one negative sentence. And for the future, I would like you to write one positive sentence and one negative sentence. I will give you examples in the study guide that you can follow along, okay? That's it for today, and I'll see you in the next videos, and they'll be a lot more fun, okay? This was kind of boring. It was a review, but the next video will be better, okay? Bye, students. See you